Hi everyone, and welcome to another season of Under the Radar, Over the Moon. Happy New Year! It's 2017. We have a lot of really good books to tell you about this year. But before we do, I think we need to have a little bubbly. Christopher?
Bubbly we shall have. Here we are.
So, Happy New Year. Cheers to you. Cheers to you.
And cheers to you.
And cheers to you, librarians. Keepers of the Flame, thanks so much for reading our books and for watching our videos. We hope you like the next round of titles that we're going to bring you right now. So, here we go. So the first book I'm going to talk about is The Color of Our Sky by Amita Trassi. This comes out in April. This was originally a self-published book, which got terrific reviews on Goodreads, and Kirk has called it one of the indie best books of the year. It's about these two childhood friends in Mumbai, India, and we meet Mukta, who is this 10-year-old village girl who is from this lower caste cult, and she comes of age and she has to fulfill her destiny of becoming a temple prostitute like her mother and her grandmother before her. So to escape this fate, she is sent to be a house girl for an upper middle class family in Mumbai. And there she meets Tara, who is the daughter of that family, and they form this wonderful friendship, and Tara educates her, reads to her, gives her all the things that she wouldn't normally have. But when this Mukta becomes 13 years old, she is married off, and to terrible results. Naturally, she's 13 years old. And eventually the girls go their separate ways. Mukta is not heard from again. And then you fast forward and you meet Tara 11 years later. She's an adult, she's living in LA, and she goes back to India to find out what happened to her friend. So that's basically what the story is about. It's heartwarming. It's there's long buried secrets in Tara's own family, and human trafficking plays a big role in this story naturally. But it's beautifully written, and I really hope you take a look at it. It's just wonderful.
I will talk about No One Is Coming to Save Us by Stephanie Powell Watts. This is a debut novel by her. She's already a critically acclaimed short story writer. This is one people will be talking about come April. It's loosely based on The Great Gatsby, but told through the eyes of this African-American family living in contemporary North Carolina in this kind of industrial town that's fallen on hard times. But the Gatsby equivalent of this story comes back and immediately injects himself into the lives of his long-lost sweetheart, her mother, the mother's husband, kind of a no-good husband. But each character is very, I don't want to say zany, but they're extremely flawed and fleshed out, and you can tell that Watts loves these characters, and they jump off the page, they stick to you, as they each kind of come to terms with where their lives stand at this moment in modern America and how their lives play into the American dream and their idea of the American dream. So it's just incredibly relatable. We Are Not Ourselves by Matthew Thomas, kind of that really emotionally, heart-wrenching kind of story. This Is For You, or The Book of Unknown Americans by Christina Enriquez. Please check this out. No One Is Coming to Save Us by Stephanie Powell Watts.
Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about The Day I Died by Lori Rader Day. She is the author of The Black Hour and Little Pretty Things, which were both nominated for the Mary Higgins Clark Award. So I am super excited to tell you about it today. I absolutely loved it, and this is her first book with us, so very excited to talk about it. This follows a handwriting analyst who is hired to look into the case of a missing child, and this really draws her out of her sort of reclusive existence in this very small town. She has this past she's been desperate to hide, and she's been doing it rather well until this case and until her own son goes missing. And I thought this was just a great mystery. These people are not all who they seem, but they really reveal more than they think they do with the loops and the edges of their handwriting. And I found that the handwriting analysis part was just fascinating. It was a really, really cool little element to this book. And I think the author has really created a unique character here with the main woman, and just a very intricate plot, sure to please fans of the psychological thrillers like Kimberly McCreight and Gillian McMillan. Really great mystery, a lot of fun. I hope you check it out.
The next book I'm going to talk about is Sycamore. This is a debut novel by Bryn Chancellor. She is known for her short story collections, one of which won the Prairie Schooner Prize. This is a fantastic book. I read it on when we first got it in, and I couldn't let it go. It's a coming-of-age story and in part mystery, and sort of this just exploration of this town in Arizona, this town called Sycamore, and the people who are in it. And it revolves around this young woman who went missing years ago. And there are remains found by a newcomer to the town, and they think that these might be the remains of this Jess Winter, this teenage girl who went missing. It was an unsolved mystery. And so the whole story then takes you through her life and her relationship with the people in the town of Sycamore. Before you say, not another book about a missing girl, wait. This is such a beautifully character-driven book. Nancy Pearl says that books are divided into 4 different parts. Character-driven books are my favorite. That's one of the parts that she talks about. And that's what this is. You see what her mother goes through. You see what her friends go through, what her coworkers go through. And they look back on her life, and you get to look into this girl's life. And it's amazing. I loved it. I just love this book, and I hope you do too. Please pick it up. I guarantee you won't be able to put it down.
I will be talking about The Girl on the Bridge by James Heyman. This is the next installment in his McCabe and Savage series. Don't worry, you can jump in immediately. I hadn't read any of the prior ones. They've sold over 500,000 copies at this point, so they're huge, and his profile is growing. So we can't wait to kind of blow him up even further. And in this latest case, McCabe and Savage take on an issue where groups of men, seemingly random groups of men, are being picked off one by one. And they discover that they all were accused 15 years prior of a brutal campus rape. And the woman, the victim, had just recently committed suicide by jumping off a bridge, The Girl on the Bridge. So obviously a topical and really hard subject to grapple with while still being entertaining and forward-moving, but it's really handled delicately and tightly by Heyman. It's really tightly wound, forward-moving. The pacing is spectacular, and there's just a wonderful set of potential suspects. Twists abound. So it's a very topical subject, again, hard to grapple with while still being entertaining, but Heyman pulls it off completely. These 2 detectives are wonderful. They have great chemistry. They're so observant and sharp, and just people you kind of want to hang with even after the case is closed. And it is a crime and a closing that will stick with you, again, unfortunately, topical as ever. So for fans of Lie in Wait and The Silent Girls by Eric Rickstad, please pick this up. It's The Girl on the Bridge by James Heyman.
Super cool. All right, I will close us out for the January episode with The Jane Austen Project by Kathleen Flynn. This is another debut novel that is a really kind of cool twist on a beloved classic. It follows a female doctor and a male actor/Austen expert, and they are from some kind of unspecified time in our future. But they are sent back in time to early 19th century England in order to attempt to diagnose Jane Austen's fatal illness and possibly recover a missing manuscript. I think the author did a really great job of throwing, the modern woman into this historic period where not only are these social restrictions that she has to accept or, blow their entire cover, but there are also a lot of kind of like things in nature that are missing in their futuristic world that is just full of all this technology that they have never experienced before. So it was just a really cool way that she throws you into this world as an outsider would see it. And I thought it was a really interesting way to view that time period. Also, just don't really worry about the time travel element. This is, really nice historical fiction with a unique perspective and just a lot of fun to read. Any fan of Jane Austen, I think, should definitely pick it up. And any of those Austen-related books, like Eligible by Curtis Sittenfeld or Longbourn by Joe Baker, I think that kind of people will find it really fun to read.
So that's it. 2017 is off to a good start with these rockin' books and the Rockin' Library Love Fest team and the Rockin' Librarians. Oh yeah. So here's to you. Have a safe one, have a happy one, have a healthy one. Happy New Year.